The other day I told my wife that I needed a new pair of running shoes, which she was absolutely fine with. So she was a little bit annoyed when 2 new pairs of running shoes turned up on our front door, and she said to me in somewhat of an exasperated voice, "Greg, do you really need 2 new pairs of running shoes?" So I calmly explained to her that it was essential because 1 pair were for road running and 1 pair were for trail running. But that got me thinking, do you really need a specific pair of shoes for trail running?
No!
Let's find out. One of the best things about running is that it's incredibly accessible. All you need is a pair of trainers, some shorts and a t-shirt and you're good to go. But running has become increasingly more expensive, with the likes of Nike's Alphafly now costing northwards of £250. And marketing from companies telling us we need a training shoe, a race shoe, a track shoe, a fell shoe and a trail running shoe. But should we believe it? The beauty of running is you can put your trainers on, you can get out the door and you can do a great session in just a short space of time. But let's be honest, after a while, running on the road can become a little bit boring. The beauty of trail running is it opens up a whole new world for you to explore. No matter where you're running, it's always hard, but I would rather be suffering with views like this. It's also great for preventing injury. Running on a hard road, doing the same motion constantly can lead to repetitive strain injuries. However, trail running allows us to run on softer ground where we're using different parts of the muscles, which can help prevent those repetitive strain injuries common with road running. But the question is, to experience all the benefits of trail running, do you need a specific pair of trail running shoes? So let's take a look to see what a trail running shoe actually is. The first thing to note is the beefier outer soles. The outer soles on trail running shoes typically have bigger and softer lugs for better traction on the trails, whereas road running shoes tend to have a flatter, smoother, more durable soles for running on pavement. The next thing is the stiffer midsole. Trail running shoes usually have stiffer midsoles than road running shoes to create more stable platform on uneven terrain, and they sometimes include rock plates for protection against sharp rocks and sticks. Road running shoes typically have softer midsoles for cushion while pounding the pavement. And finally, the reinforced uppers. The uppers on trail running shoes are reinforced for protection from rocks, roots and sticks on the trails, whereas road running shoes don't require this, which means they are usually a touch lighter and more breathable. So there are some of the main differences between trail running shoes and road running shoes. But the main difference is those lugs on the bottom, which provide more traction. Okay, so you're now thinking, Greg, get to the point. Do we need specific trail running shoes? And the answer is, well, it depends. Now, trail running incorporates a wide variety of terrain. You have fairly even paths, you have rocky technical stuff, grassy paths, bog. And we also run in a variety of conditions, especially here in the UK. We can have blazing sunshine for months on end, or we can have absolute downpours for months on end. The second is probably more likely. And I have a running route which shows exactly what I mean. This is a run that I used to do with my friend, and it incorporates most of the terrain that I mentioned previously. Now, my friend doesn't run as much as I do, so he couldn't really justify buying a specific pair of trail running shoes, so he would just come along in his standard road running shoes. So it provides us with a good example of whether you do really need those specific trail running shoes. The run starts off on a nice even track We then have some technical rocky sections, some grassy fields and some more boggy areas. The nice even path pretty much all year round in all conditions is going to be absolutely fine in the running shoes, and my friend never had any problems. The technical rocky bits will be absolutely fine in dry conditions, but can get trickier in wet conditions. But having said that, slippy wet rock can be tricky even for trail running shoes. It's the grassy hill where things can get lethal in wet conditions.
Now, we're in summer at the moment, so this hill may not look like much of a challenge, but when it has been raining, getting up here and getting down here can be so tricky. It is incredibly slippy, and the fact is you are really going to struggle in winter in road running shoes, either coming up or down. I have been down here in winter in road running shoes and I slid down mainly on my arse. Now again, this is a section where in summer it is absolutely fine, but in winter it can be treacherous. And this was often the most difficult part for my friend. Even though it looks like a fairly easy flat path, sometimes it would get so wet and boggy, and if you're not careful, it's easy to go into a muddy section and slip.
So in dry conditions, my friend is absolutely fine in his road running shoes, but once it gets wet, the technical sections start to become very difficult. Finally, here is my verdict. I've split people up into 3 categories that I think are the most likely that would consider buying trail running shoes. First of all, we have someone who doesn't do that much running or has just started running, maybe has just started running park run and is thinking about giving trail running a go. Next, we have someone who wants to do running for enjoyment, to keep fit, and wants to do both road running and trail running, but can only afford or only wants to buy one pair of shoes. And finally, we have someone who does loads of road running and wants to branch out and start giving trail running a go. For the first category, someone who has just started running, maybe just started doing park run and wants to give trail running a go, what I would say is find somewhere that is not too technical, that is still off-road, is still trail running, but give it a go in your road running shoes to see if you enjoy it first. And if you enjoy it, get a specific pair of trail running shoes. For someone who just wants to do a bit of running to keep fit for enjoyment and wants to mix both trail running and road running, but only wants one pair of shoes, I would say get trail running shoes. Your trail running shoes don't have to just be worn on trails. They will be absolutely fine for road running as well. However, it is worth bearing in mind that if you use your trail running shoes on the road a lot, the lugs on the bottom can get worn down quite quickly. And finally, the dedicated road runner that's already doing a lot of miles and wants to give trail running a go, what I would say is buy a specific pair of trail running shoes. The reason being is that running shoes can only last between 500 and 800 kilometers. And if you're already doing a lot of distance in your road running shoes, having another pair of shoes will help your road running shoes last longer. So even if you don't do that much, it is going to save your road running shoes and allow them to last longer.
But I think the main thing is that even though wearing road running shoes sometimes kind of held my friend back a little bit, we enjoyed ourselves. It didn't stop us from having a great time, getting out together, running, getting exercise, enjoying each other's company, and that's the main thing. And you can do that whether you're wearing road running shoes or trail shoes. Yeah, at times you might have to be a bit more careful, go a bit slower if you're wearing road running shoes, but you shouldn't let that stop you from getting out there, enjoying yourself and exploring new paths and new routes. The thing is with sport and with the sport brands is they're always going to encourage you to buy more stuff. And in order to do that, often they create these new kind of categories where you feel like you need every single new innovation, every single new product. Otherwise, you're going to be missing out on something. And the reality is it's not true. Innovation in sports brands can often lead to some really great stuff. I love trail running shoes. I'm really happy with mine. But the reality is they aren't essential. They're a great added extra, and they can allow you to have a bit more fun and explore more terrain.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe, and give me a follow on my social media channels, which you can find the link to down below. I'm going to do more content coming up around trail running, showcasing some of the amazing trail runs that are in the Peak District. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you on the next one.